Here we are. Another Sunday, another rainy day. This is meant to be spring. I don't know where spring has gone. It might have sprung into next year or something. I'm just stood outside across the street from where I live. As you can see, rapeseed canola everywhere. And at the end of the day, lots of cars running by. And nobody's doing 30 miles an hour as is the posted speed limit. But then nobody cares, do they? Anyway, back to the little Canta. I was hoping to work on it today, but this rain is sort of intermittent, more inter than mittent. And at the end of the day, what I'll try and do today is actually to sand down some of the door frames and repaint them, because there's a lot of rust on them. A lot of it's actually sort of scabby, messy rust, so I'm sure that I can recover all of that. And once the door frames are painted, obviously one can then start looking at lining them on the inside. But other than that, welcome to the show. We will see what we can get filmed today, maybe get a few minutes together, and we will carry on. In the meantime, enjoy the sun wherever you are. We have no sun, so I'll just hope that at some point we get some sunshine back again. Cheers. Thanks a lot. Subscribe, like, all the good stuff, and we'll speak to you in a minute. So, where are we today? Saturday. We've got sunshine, which is not a bad thing. Moved the Jeep up the road, and I'm going to see if I can get this little guy out. I'm trying out a new remote microphone. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. It's connected to the phone. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, well, we're back to quality being kind of average. I need to move this little guy out, pump some tires up quickly, and then get going on trying to just tidy up the door frames, paint them. Once they're painted, we can start with looking at cleaning up the interior panels and laying out the panels with some vinyl. So there we go, that's it for today. I see Mick has come around as well. He's sort of standing in the eaves. There you go. Right. Swing it this way.
Showing, yeah.
I just need to, yeah, we'll move it back, and then I'm actually not going to pump the tires because it seems to have moved alright. Move it forward a bit more. And then I'll pick up the camera and just show you what my concern is for today. So the doors themselves have frames, and when you look down here, let's get my shot right, you'll find, I've got to find my finger, you'll find that there's bits of rust which I want to tidy up. The passenger side is a lot worse. When you look up here, once again, it's mostly ugly surface rust, but if I can clean it up, tidy it up, that'll be a whole lot better in the sort of end result. And then, as you can see, these door panels need new lining. They were originally covered in a fabric lining, but cigarette burns, who knows what else, those will come off, get replaced. Bit more rust needs tidying up here. This car is just a real mess. We've got some moss growing inside the windows. Where are we? The back here. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but we'll get there. The interior looks a whole lot better already after the last washout and clean out. So we'll get there bit by bit. Right now I am going to turn the camera off and just get some stuff sorted out, and we'll be back in a bit with some tools. See you now. Right, so just to add to the sort of the initial introduction on the doors, you can see the side's good, and then when you get into this corner, quite a bit of surface rust. Once again, I think I can deal with all of that, clean it up, tidy it up, and then when this is done, we'll put a new lining in the back of the back door as well. Still needs glass, but we'll get to that. And then the taillight needs replacing sometime, but I'll get to that when I do electrics. And then on this side, this is probably the worst door of the lot. I have a very faint suspicion I know why. Because in the UK, obviously, we drive on the left side of the road, which is where the gutters are, and if this small little car is driving in all the gutters and to the left of the road because it's slow, during winter, you will find that a lot more of the salt that's run down from the road being gritted to prevent people slip sliding in the snow and the ice ends up on the insides of the door panels and on these door seals. You can see where the rust has kind of taken itself and just transferred its color onto the floor. Even that I can probably clean up and repaint a bit. It'll all just look a lot tidier once I'm done with it. So yeah, this is today's job. Try and get as much of this rust as possible sorted. This is quite dark, that bit of rust, it almost looks like there's a bit of oil on it. I'm not sure if it's damp or maybe just the colour of the rust. Anyway, it's good. We will have some fun today, or at least I will. I suspect Mick will just be watching, rolling a cigarette or two and making comments. Yeah. I'm trying to sell fish and chips out of his window, his shop window. So yeah, we'll be back. Let's see if we can get this to work. Let's see. This might be an abort system. Yep. There we go. This is not going to work today. Bugger.
Switch on and find out.
We're gonna Mick. There we go. Health and safety. Mick is pro. Give it a go. I think it's going to go bang. Let's see. Not happy, but it'll work.
We'll wear it down.
Right. Are we ready to carry on with this? Where should we start? I think down the bottom is probably the right place to start. Right, Mick, you want to film this bottle for a moment? This is a product called VACTAN. I think you're probably too close for focus. VACTAN is a rust converter, and I've used it successfully before on my Chevy Blazer to just stable the rust when I've taken the top and the surface rust off. You can see down here I've exposed metal and also removed all of the scabbiness. Once I've painted that on, leave it to dry, and then you can actually paint straight over that. So that should make a difference. The bottle is just, it's because it's been sealed, but once you shake it, it obviously mixes back to its original consistency, and it's a brush painted application. Right, last bit, corner of this door, and then we can get on to the rust proofing, the VACTAN rust converter, I guess you'd call it. Give it a chance to dry. It's a good day today, and then maybe even get the black paint on today. That'll be really good because that'll give me 2 days to work over this weekend. It's actually a long weekend in England. That's another job done. Right, next job will be to just make sure everything is wiped down nice and clean, get the VACTAN shaken up, mixed, and apply, and wait for it to dry. Time for a coffee break. Boom. I've got the VACTAN decanted into a small tub, so the next trick is just to paint it on everywhere, top to bottom. I'll start in the top corner so it can do its job, converting or oxidizing the rust. I'm not sure what it does really, scientifically at least, but it seems to always work really well for various people in the retro scene, some of the guys that I chat with, and on the various forums where I go. I'm just doing this crossbar that was a bit rusted at the top as well while I'm at it. And we'll have a look at it once it's actually started oxidizing. So down this corner, all of this, and I'm going right in underneath so that it can really get in everywhere. It has this interesting blue color when it starts converting and drying. and I tend to repeatedly brush so that if there's any sort of dirt or anything, any contaminants, then at least you can move it about and get this VACTAN underneath it as well. Small brush, more than enough. To be honest, I was going to use a bigger brush, and then I thought, no, why? This seems to work quite well as I'm finding right now. Being a nice warm day, this is actually really turning around very fast. You can see it's dried already where I've done the first application, and I'm just doing another coat just for the hell of it. Probably doesn't need it, but I always think second coat might make a difference. So there you go. You can see the top. Let me just get this camera unstuck here. The top has already turned black where this stuff has started kicking in and working. So basically it does something clever down the bottom. You can see that blue color, but it turns around very quickly and color converts and changes. Same over here on this handle that I ground back. I'll do a second coat there in a moment, but that's all good. I'm really pleased. This is the end of the day. I'm not sure what time it is now, but it's been a couple of hours, a few hours I've been playing. First grinding, wiping down, cleaning up, then obviously adding the rust converter to all of the places where I could find the rust to grind back and flatten back. And after that, I had a coffee while everything relaxed and dried. Spent some time with my neighbor carrying some furniture about, and then came back and started painting all of the surfaces. I've probably covered everything, and I'll do a second coat tomorrow. I think this first coat is good, but a second coat's always a better option, so I'll wait for this to dry overnight, and tomorrow morning 11, 12 o'clock I'll hit it with a second coat just to ensure a decent thick cover and maybe any spots where there was a bit of thin paint. So, after yesterday's painting, cleaning, really nice finish. Only problem is this morning, trying the paint, touching it, even the gentlest of touches, as you can see, touch, and the paint comes off. It's not gone off, it's not dried. I do not understand why. This is an exterior metal and wood paint, but specifically metal. It's new, I stirred it, I agitated it over the whole thing as you should, and yet it's given me this reaction. So why has it not dried? Probably means that I need to remove all of this again and start again. And that's really gotten up my nose. I'm a little bit pissed actually, because I was hoping to progress with this little car this weekend. The rain has stopped me a few times. Now it's the bloody paint that's not dried. So there you go. End of the story for the weekend. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, do all the good things, and we'll see you in the next episode.